The topic for today is resumes, right? Do's and don'ts. Before we, cover what we need to do and what we should avoid, may I ask a question first? So, what do we think happens with our resume? We create it, and we'll talk about how we should create it. But once we have created it, what happens to it? Any ideas?
Can
Any?
can I answer, Shipra?
Yeah, sure, Naveen.
Whatever is written there, definitely the questions might be going to come from there. I mean, because I'm not aware of SQL. I write something as, I mean, seeing someone's resume or something. I write SQL. I face the questions of SQL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whatever is written, we have to write only. I mean, what we are aware of, instead of just for adding some top ups and all which you are not aware of. Definitely, we are going to get hit based on these things.
Yeah, that's a very important point which you have suggested, Naveen. So, uh, do not lie in your resume. Do not, add things which you have not experienced on, or do not add things which you don't have knowledge on. So, I've seen many people, picking up keywords from here and there and writing them in your resume, in their resume. But what will happen is the moment interviewer start asking the question, you are not able to answer, the person is not able to answer, and your interview is over then and there. The interviewer may ask you, couple of more questions. The interviewer may ask you, couple of more things just to pass the time. But believe me, the moment the interviewer realizes that your resume does not match with your experience, that's an end game. Yes, you're not getting selected for sure. So that's very important for people to understand, not to lie in a resume, right? um,
Right.
so yeah, that's an important point. um, what else? So and that is a point which will arise when you have got selected, for the interview. But meanwhile, so you created your resume, you uploaded your resume on LinkedIn, Naukri, Monster, or any website. um, what happens to the resume, or what's the process that takes place between the time you share your resume till the time you sit in an interview? What happens between that period?
So your resume gets added in there. I mean, Naukri database where, I mean, ample number of people already searching for the same job with, I mean, same number of keywords and all these things. The
Mhm.
thing is, I mean, your profile should look fresh. It's not like, I mean, for a day, I mean, how many people are keep refreshing and all these things. We have a particular time. Generally, people call it as, I mean, on my research, I came to know, I mean, when you do it from 9 to 10 every day in the morning, and your
Mhm.
profile should be 100% before that. So the chances of getting calls are very high because your profile will be shortlisted on the top, and mentioning some of the details where you will get first thing is, after uploading resume, you should get a call either from, I mean, consultants or these TA guys. So for getting that, I mean, some of the things we need to mention, you keep 3 months, no one is going to take your resume. No consultancy or no TA is coming to you. So I mean, and you set a high priority of salary, no one is going to call you. So these are, I mean, some things you have to do, and I mean, so that, I mean, there are more chances of getting calls. From getting calls also, sometimes they ask some things. I mean, some may ask for passport photo, some may ask for, I mean, latest resume. You did not add your, I mean, latest company in the resume. If we ignore that and if we go on, they move to another person. So we also have to proactively response to these TA guys, or I mean, uh, these consultancies, so that, I mean, we may get in pipeline for receiving the calls after, I mean, even though we they call us, and they also do some kind of shortlisting, then we'll get an, I mean, interview call. And one more thing is, we should be available to take the calls.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, you have raised a couple of very very good points. Yeah. So let me summarize.
Yeah.
What we have suggested. So we have to understand that for one opening there are going to be 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 applications that are going in. Yeah. And how to ensure that so no so we have this TA layer, or HR layer. So we have these people have no idea about the work that you do. They don't have any idea about the opening, what the opening is for. What they have done is they have, went to the interviewer and they have said, give me the job description. And they have just copy pasted the same job description in and, uploaded it on Naukri or other websites. And, they are going to find people who match this job description. But they don't know what that job description is. If you ask them, if the job description says the person should be able to gather requirements, and if you ask these HR people what are requirements, they will have no clue whatsoever, right? And it is understandable also, because it is not their job to understand the job descriptions, because different people will have different job descriptions. They can't just understand the each and every role that the organization is having an opening on. There will be technical people, there will be QC people, there'll be project management openings. So n number of openings will be there. Each opening will have their own job description, and these HR people, they don't care about it and they don't understand it, what your job description is and what the job description the opening is for. All they are doing is matching the two. So it is very important for your resume to match the job description. Yeah, but do not just copy paste the job description and put it in your resume. Yeah, but still make sure that whatever is mentioned in the job description, create a new version of the resume every time that matches the job description. Otherwise HR is not going to make a match, and HR is not going to give you a call. Okay. And second thing is notice period, salary. These are not the things that you will note down in your resume. It's a complete no. Do not say, this is my salary in your resume. Do not say this is my notice period in the resume. Mention those things only when HR reaches out to you and say that, can you share these details? Can you give me your current salary? Can you give me your targeted salary? Can you give me your notice period? And when you are replying to that email, make sure that you say negotiable. So whenever you are saying 3 months, so do not say 3 months, 2 months or 1 month if your notice period is actually 3 months. I understand that there might be openings where people might be looking for people who are able to join in 1 month, right? But still, do not lie to the interviewer. That's going to you're going to reduce your perspectives. So if your notice period is 3 months, mention 3 months, and in bracket put negotiable, right? And
Oh,
or you can say that we can discuss this further, right? Even in salary, even in your actual salary, you're going to say, right? So if you are giving your actual salary, try to give a breakup between the fixed and variable. And if in the expected salary, keep a decent hike. You should not do that. See, no company is going to give you more than 50% jump, yeah, until and unless you are earning very, very, very less. So keep a decent hike as per your experience. So follow the market standards, and ask for an expected salary which is above those market standards, but not too high, right? Do not go for 100% increase, or do not go for 150% increase, right? So in expected salary, you can either, it's better to write the words as per market standards, or say that, as this is my expectation, and in bracket put negotiable. Yeah, either will do, but do not mention these things in your resume which you are uploading on your Naukri or other areas or other platforms. Third thing that Naveen, you rightly suggested, and many people do not bother about it or take care about it, is daily refreshes. So when you have uploaded your resume on a portal, right, Naukri or LinkedIn or anywhere, so that resume is going to get under the pile as and when more resumes are getting uploaded. So every minute 50, 60 resumes might be getting uploaded by people all over the world, right? So the moment you upload the resume, within 10 minutes that resume is down the file. So you have to ensure that your resume is at the top of the file, and for that, what you will have to do is uh, update your resume. So just add a dot somewhere, or just add a space somewhere, and save it. It will update your resume, and your resume will come at the top of the file. And how the HR is identifying the resumes is, they have these softwares who is picking up all the profiles which are available in Naukri and other places, and matching it up with the job description and giving them a match, and then they are reaching out to you. And again, as you mentioned, Naveen, the person should be available at all times to be to pick up these calls. If you are busy, still pick up the call and say that I'm busy right now. Can you send me the job description? I'll and your queries. I'll go through over it in the evening and I'll revert to you by end of the day. Yeah, just ensure that the person is not it should not happen that the person is emailing you and you are not responding, because then you yourself are responsible for not taking the things further. Yeah. So again, a very good point. I mean, I just reiterated what you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Jay?
mean, I would like to quote. I mean, some of the problems I faced in the interview. I mean, when I went for a walk-in.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not. I mean, it's above the resume. So I mean, can I go ahead further and I mean discuss this one here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Shipra, I mean, we went for Lloyd's Technology Center. I mean, there. I mean, at the venue, I met. I mean, some couple of people who are there for this business analyst and product owner. There are two
Mm-hmm.
panels. Okay. So in one panel, one person has 6 questions which are completely related to developer. I mean, he is asking something in Java, SQL, how do you swap and all those things. And where we were not, I mean, for me, it was, some couple of consultancies have consulted and sent us. For me, they have not even sent the job description. Some of the people got frustrated, and I mean, they told that this is not the way, and they have done. And some of them they could have somehow managed, and they cleared that round. So I mean, if coming to me, luckily I was not in that panel. So if I was there, I mean, I could have directly told them, boss, this is not my cup of tea. So I mean, how do we handle these kind of things? I mean, in some other cases where I have seen the interviewer was checking in the internet and asking me some couple of questions, and that fellow has rejected me. I don't know for what reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, these are some scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah. So things happen. Yeah, things happen all the time. So
Yeah.
the scenario where the interviewer was asking you the questions related to Java and other things, and the it was a mess mess from the HR side. So it happens with
Yes.
us also, right? So
Yeah.
when HR gives us the resume, the HR gives us the resume for analytics profile, right? As I mentioned,
Right. Right.
HR does not know the difference between business analyst and business analytics. So
Right. Correct.
for them,
Correct.
analyst and analytics is one and the same thing, right? But we know that we are looking for a business analyst. We are not looking for a person who is good in data and who knows W and BI and all,
Correct.
right? So that was a mess up from HR side. But it is important for the interviewee to not lose their calm, not lose their patience, and not lose their composure. Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
that's another important aspect. So you mentioned that even if the questions were not relevant, right,
Yeah.
still those people got selected, right? But
Yeah.
interviewer must have seen something in them, right? They must have seen the zeal,
Correct.
they must
Correct.
have seen the attitude, they must have seen the communication skills. So
Correct.
very important is so like you said, I'm going to say, boss, this is not my cup of tea. So that's not a that is an attitude which won't get you selected, right? So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
all you have to do is say humbly, see, I think there is some miscommunication that has happened. I am here for a business analyst profile,
Yeah.
and I'm not involved in the technical aspects of it. You may be looking for a technical business analyst, but the profile does not seem to match.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me know in case you have a any business analyst or functional analyst openings in future, and I'll like to take up this interview again. See,
Yeah.
interview is an opportunity for the interviewer to assess you. It
Right.
is also an opportunity for the interviewee to
Yeah.
assess
Yeah.
what role the person is going into.
Yeah.
If the person, if you're getting the questions which are very relevant to your current job,
Mm-hmm.
then you can be rest assured that you are going into a similar profile. But
Mm-hmm.
if the questions are more relevant to something else, then you have the full right to reject that opening and say that this is not matching my profile.
Yeah.
You will not switch your profile just to get into a company,
Correct.
if you see what I mean. If
Yeah.
you're a business analyst, you will not become a tester,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that happens with me also, right? So I
Yeah.
gave
Yeah.
the interview business analyst. It was all BA kind of a questioning.
Yeah.
After that, they said that they are going to release the offer.
Yeah.
But before releasing the offer, they gave me a call and they said, "We have a position for senior test lead. Will you be interested in that?"
You.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, "See, I'm more of a consultant profile. Yeah, I'm very good in dealing with the clients. I'm very good in communication skills. And if you make me a QC test lead, then I'm going to start looking out very soon, which you will not want, which I will not want. Plus, this is not matching with the profile, so I will have to start over, and I don't want to lose out on my experience. Even if you are giving me a promotion by giving me a test manager kind of a profile, they were directly making me a manager, right, rather than a BA lead. So still I didn't changed my profile because I didn't want it to, right? They even offered me a higher package, because they are giving me a management profile. But still, you would not want to change your profile just to get into a company, no matter how good it is, be it Google, be it Amazon, or whatever, right? Do not change your profile. Do not look into it, but assess what kind of questions the interviewer is asking, and then see what kind of people you
Okay.
will be working with. So you mentioned that there was a case where interviewer was, checking out the system to ask you questions, right? Uh,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah. Yeah.
say that this is not good. If you can go on mute, please, Naveen, because I can hear my voice going.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'm hearing my voice going. So can you go on mute, please?
Okay. 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 Just a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So if a person is checking out the system, there can be number of scenarios there. One thing is the person might not have taken an interview in a while, and the person might not be recalling instantly what kind of questions they should ask you. It is also possible that the person who was supposed to take your interview is not available right now, and they have brought in someone else in the last minute from a different profile, from a different background, to take your interview, and that's why the interviewer is asking you those questions, right? So uh, those kind of scenarios can be there, but again, what we have to do is not to lose our calm, not to lose our composure, and answer to the best of our abilities, and showcase that we have patience, showcase that we have confidence, showcase we have good communication skills, so that show that we have the expertise. We know what we are saying. We are not fumbling around. We are not saying like that, right? So show your confidence and answer to the best of your abilities, and then it's again, luck matters a lot when it comes to clearing interviews and getting offer letters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You're correct.
Yeah. Jay.
So, Shipra, going back to your first question, what happens when someone posts a resume? So, what happens is, from a screening standpoint, the resume does not even go to the HR first. So these days, many of the organizations, they have ATS, they have the AI system, where the system detects optical data screening. It detects the keywords that complements the job description, and then it does the filtration job, and a few selected resumes goes to the HR, and then there's a second workflow that starts from HR. So I had, so as I discussed on Telegram that I have not been receiving calls. So I happened to check with many of my colleagues who have now switched to other organizations, and they said, you rather want to amend your resume that complements the job description.
Hmm.
Now, for me, Shipra, I would never do that. That's against my principles and my values. I would not want to add any skill set that I have that I don't pose. Instead, what I did, so recently what happened is I was going through Naukri and I see a lot of job openings for process mining. So what I instead did was I took up a course on Udemy on process mining, and once I'm done with the course, I would rather then add a job a process miner as in the job description, and then I'm fine amending my resume. But then setting false expectations at the start of the engagement with an organization, that is not something that I would do. I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm not getting calls, I'm absolutely good. This is not something that I would do.
Yeah. So again, I totally agree with you. And I mentioned at the start of the call as well. Do not lie in your resume and do not mention something which you are not knowledgeable about. Yeah. But it is also okay to match the resume with, when we say match the resume with the opening, it means that tweaking your terminologies or tweaking your words in a manner that it starts matching up with the job profile, right? So let me take an example. So if the job profile says the person shall have experience on writing user stories, right? So let's say you are saying I have experience writing requirement documents. Both are same. You might also have experience on writing user stories, and when you are saying, you might be thinking, when I'm saying requirement documents and I'm comprising user stories, plus I'm also additionally mentioning about BRD, FSD, and so and so other documentation methods. So you might be generalizing your resume, but to the system, requirement documents does not match up with the user stories, if you see what I mean, right? Then if you see that job description says user stories, then you should change your wordings in your resume to say I have experience writing requirements documents. Do not lose out on the actual word also, like the user stories, use cases, functional specification documents, business requirement documents, etc. Like, so when we are saying match up with the job description, so tweak your wordings in such a manner that it matches it, increases the keyword match count. Then you will have better chances of matching up with the profile that you are applying for.
I agree on that. Absolutely, Shipra.
Yeah. Because so when we say, what's, so the intent of my question was to understand this only, right? So are we aware of the ATS? So we have these ATS checker websites available right nowadays. What these websites do is they pick up your resume and they tell you how to whether your resume is ATS compliant or not. So for example, you have created a very flashy resume, a presentation kind of a thing, and it's very good. Everyone gets impressed by looking at it, but the moment you upload in the system does not recognize the format. You might be using some old version of Windows XP kind of thing, or you might be having a file format which is not supported by ATS systems, right? If your resume is not uploadable into a website, your resume is useless no matter how good it is. So ensure that your resume is always in a PDF format, and you should be able to upload it to websites. And how you can do is just go for ATS checker in Google search, and you will find a couple of websites. Go to any of those websites, upload your resume there, and the website will tell you whether they were able to upload your resume or not. If they are able to upload your resume, you can be rest assured that you can upload the same resume in other websites as well. Yeah, so make sure that your resume is ATS compliant. So when what happens, at the systems, at the interviewers end, or the company's end, is system will check your resume first, match up the keywords, and then give an information to HR. These are the resumes that have more than 90% match. These are the resumes that have more than 80% match, so on and so forth. So that's why it's very important to have a better match. Yeah. And then HR will go through those resumes. They'll ask you for additional information. They are not going to reject you at all, right? They are going to ask you for additional information. At the same time, they are going to send your resume to the interviewer panel, right? So there will be one person, or there will be more than one people, a team of, or leads or managers, to which they'll send out your resume. They will check whether your resume matches up with the opening or not. HR is not going to make a match. The interviewer is going to make a match, and then they are going to say yes, we are good to call the person. Then HR will ask you for more information, and start the process of scheduling an interview with the interviewer, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Absolutely right, Shipra.
Yeah. Another important thing when we are looking at this process is referrals. Yeah. So not all resumes come from websites like Naukri, like Monster, like LinkedIn. Yeah, many resumes come from internal referrals as well. So what happens is the company, float out the opening available in their to their employees, and then employees can share those openings on different channels, or within their friend circle, and then they can say that I have this person who matches with the profile. Can you have a look? Right now, it is important to understand that referrals are always a priority over the profiles which we got from Naukri and other platforms. Yeah. So not only, so when you are starting your job hunt, not only go for um, the job portals, also reach out to your ex colleagues, ex friends, or not, or current friends working in other companies, and say to them, can you refer me to this profile? Yeah. Second thing what you can do is, you can directly go to the website of the company and see if there are any job openings which are available. So every company will there have their website, and if you go to their website, they will have a section of openings. Then you can search for any available openings which matches with your profile, and upload your resume in for that particular opening. That those resumes will also take a preference. Yeah. So that's another avenue you can explore while going for a job hunt.
True that.
Okay. Um, okay. So we already covered a couple of very good points. Now, interviewer has got your resume. Yeah. So um, HR passed on the resume to interviewer, and now interviewer needs to make a decision whether your profile matches with the position or not. What interviewer will do? What's his experience like? Any ideas? Jay?
Um, he would do the same thing, Shipra. He would check the project requirements against what's been mentioned, the initial screening, and if I think it's 60-70% match, then I would pick up the call and call the interviewee for
Hmm.
the preliminary round to
Hmm.
understand. Just a 2 minute casual walk would give a good idea of where the person stands in terms of communication, in terms of what industry words is he using in the just in the preliminary round. 2 minutes films is good enough to gauge a person from a communication standpoint.
Yeah. So let's say I'm the interviewer, right? And I have an opening in my team, business analyst. Uh, when I get a profile, first thing I do is open up the profile. Yeah. And am I able to open up the profile, or it's asking me for some messages, or some it's a word file? Then again, that mood goes off in the instant. Yeah, if the file is not opening up, so file got corrupted somewhere. So always share a PDF version of the resume. Yeah, that's very important. PDFs are the most secure files, and they open up easily and they don't distort the data. When I open up the resume, first I'll first thing I do is scroll down, right? I As an interviewer, I'm not going to read each and every line of your resume. No matter how much you have written in it, I will always look for the keywords, right? I will not spend more than 8 to 10 seconds per resume. I may have got, 10, 11, 12, 15 profiles at least from HR. So it's not my primary job to take interviews, right? So it's always a secondary job. So what I'll do is I'll just spend 10 seconds on my profile, on the resume. And no you might have done a very hard work, one day or 2 days you might have spent on your resume, but doesn't matter to me as an interviewer. I'll just look at it for 10 seconds, not more than that, even less than 10 seconds. So it is very important for a resume to highlight what the interviewer is looking for. So what interviewer is looking for? First, what is your profile? Is it a business analyst profile? Is it a project manager profile? Is it a product owner profile? right? So if I'm looking for a business analyst job and my resume says product owner, I'm going to reject it just on the basis that the person is too ambitious and will not match up with this profile, and the person will get frustrated, I will get frustrated later on. So the person is not a match. If I'm looking for a person with 5 to 6 years of experience and I got a resume which is, let's say, 7 to 8 years of experience, or I got a resume which is, let's say, 1 or 2 years of experience, I'm going to reject it then and there without going into further details, right? So total number of experience matters to me as well. So the person might have 8 years of experience, but the relevant experience might be just 3 years or 4 years, or the person might be ready to why I'm rejecting a senior person is because of the salary, because the more senior the person is, the person will demand more salary, and my opening will not give the person that much salary, right? So that's the reason I'm taking a lesser experienced person. So, and more experienced person will also be ambitious, and I may not have an opening for a lead role for the person and all. So those are the things I'm looking into my resume, right? I'm not going to calculate how much period the person has spent. So some people do not even mention in their resume what is their total number of experience or relevant years of experience, right? So if you have changed your profile, do mention both the things, total number of experience and relevant numbers, your number of years experience. If you do not have a if you have not switched the profile and if you are working in the same profile, then it is okay to mention the total number of years of experience. But I get very frustrated if I have to scroll down and see when the person started working on, let's say I'll see, okay, the person started working in 2010, and then I have to calculate how many years of experience the person has, right? It makes me very frustrated. The information should be visible the moment I open up the screen. So that's important thing that you should do is highlight the keywords or highlight the things that the person will be looking for. I'm least bothered about what your roles and responsibilities were. I'm least bothered about what you did, but I'm looking for, do you have business analysis experience? Have you experienced writing user stories? Have you experienced dealing with the clients? So if you are making it easier for me to understand, I'm least interested in whether you are married or not. I'm least interested in what languages you know, right? I'm least interested in what is your date of birth. Date of birth is important for some systems to upload the resume, but that's it, right? So I'm looking for the things which I'm more interested in. So do not put so many things in your resume which I'm least interested with, right? Passport number, I am least interested, what is your passport number? So I'm least interested in a declaration, right? So what are you saying? This information is best to my knowledge and belief. I don't need that information, right? Information I need is how much experience you have, what domain you have worked on, right? So I've seen business analysis profiles without a mention of domain, right? That's a complete no. If I don't know that, if I have an opening for insurance domain, and if I don't know that you have worked on insurance domain, I won't be bothered about your resume. Yeah. If I have given 15 resumes and I will not be interviewing all the 15 people, right? Even if they match the profile. What I will do is I will select 3 or 4 which are more closer match. So any people with more experience, any people with lesser experience, I'm taking out the resumes because of one or the other reason. So do not fall into that eliminated resume group because the person is not able to find the relevant information. So always mention, always be very clear, highlight the information that interviewer is looking for. Do not you do not create resume for yourself, you create your resume for the interviewer. So always keep your audience in mind and create your resume for that audience, right? Number of pages of resume, so do not increase your resume from more than 2 pages. As an interviewer, I don't have a patience to scroll 3 or 4 pages of resume to understand what you have done so far, right? So keep your resume short and sweet, keep your resume limited to what the interviewer is looking for, and keep your resume limited to 2 pages max. If it is 1 page, that's also good. Yeah, that's even better. One page resumes are even better. If I can just take a print and take it to the interview room. If it is 2 page resume, then also it is okay, but not more than 2 pages. I'm not interested, sorry. Yeah.
Right, Shipra.
Yeah, so let me know if you have any experiences related to what we are talking about. David has joined us. Hi, David.
Hi Shipra, hi. Yeah.
And
So I just joined in the starting of this space. So I don't know what you have discussed, but I just have like few there is like one queries at present. So see, I have like 3 to 4 years of experience, and in my resume, one of the things that I have put in is like just creating user stories. And in one of the project, I have to work on the FST, and apart from that, it is just interacting with the stakeholders. These are the things. So is it not a basic responsibility of BA? Do I need to add in some other information to in the resume? I'm like if this was discussed, I did not join during that time. Like if you could share what should I put apart from the roles and responsibility that I have worked, it would be better for me so that I can update my resume.
yeah. So again, yeah, those are the key responsibilities of a BA to do requirement documentation, to have a requirement elicitation, manage stakeholders, um, conflict resolution, so on and so forth. So yeah, uh, what you can also do is you can go through the job descriptions, right? So when you are applying for a business analyst profile, they might have given a job description, and when you go through that job description, see if your experience matches to that particular job description somehow, right? So for example, the job description says stakeholder management, and some BAs, they do not directly interact with the client, but they direct interact with the internal stakeholders like a product owner, right? So if I'm working in a product company, I may not be directly reaching out to the clients, right? Because it's not an implementation project or a support project, it's a product kind of a project. So in that case, my stakeholder is my PO. So do not think that when they say stakeholder is only client. Stakeholder can be PO, stakeholder can be dev, stakeholder can be QC, right? So in that case, you feel that yes, I match up with this profile, or I match up with this statement in the job description, so you can add that statement to your resume. And over a period of time, what will happen is your resume will start gaining more strength. Do not repeat the same information, or do not articulate the same statement in some other way. Interviewers are smart enough, they have seen all kind of a world, or all kind of interviews, so they're very smart enough. Do not take interviewers lightly, do not try to fool them out. Yeah, but you can take tips from the job descriptions that you explore. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Shipra.
Okay. um there was one more point, just give me a minute, I forgot that. Yeah, I can't recall it. So no worries. So when we talk about it more, it will come to me. Yeah. So we talked about having the relevant information in the job, in the in the resume. Uh, yeah. So another important point is the value add, right? So when you are writing what you did, people always write what they did, but people forget to mention how it helped, how what value it added to the customer, what value it added to the project, what value it added to the company, what value it added to other areas like QC or dev and all, right? So it's better to write, I delivered 100 user stories for a particular feature, instead of just saying I delivered user stories for a feature. Can you see the difference? Yeah. 100 is giving the weightage. 100 means that you know what you did. 100 means that you know the value you delivered, right? I resulted into, we delivered so and so feature, which resulted into an annual saving of $1 million for the client, right? So that means you understand the objective. That means that you understand how you are adding value to the client, right? I resolved clients problems related to performance issues and so on and so forth, right? So always mention the value you are delivering. Do not just say I write user stories, right? So okay, you wrote what user stories, 1,000 other people have also written user stories. What's the big deal? Yeah. So always write how you contributed to the project, right? Always give idea about what you actually did. So uh, do not mention your client names. That's first and foremost thing to avoid. Never mention your client names. But what you can say is, I've worked for a US client who is among the top 10 insurers in PNC space, like that, right? So you can elaborate your client, and then you can say, um, see, people are least interested in what the project was about. The people are more interested in what your roles and responsibilities were. But giving a brief introduction to the project will help them understand what kind of project it was, yeah, or what kind of feature it was. So do not spend 6 to 7 lines of a resume in just detailing out what the project was, and do not skip mentioning what the project was, right? So do mention what the project was all about, and do mention the value that you delivered as part of the project. Sometimes it also helps in mentioning how many people were involved. So I worked in a 50-member team delivering uh, 20 features per quarterly release on an average, like that, right? So just if you're putting up some numbers, it is going to increase the quality of your resume. So when you upload your resume to ATS checker websites, they are going to tell you how to increase the quality of your resume. So they'll tell you, do not write your resume in first person. Never use I in your resume, right? Always say he, she, they, like that. Or do not even bother about putting any pronouns in the resume. Just say elaborated 100 user stories, or elicited 10 requirements from the client, or provided solutions for this and that, right? Do not use I, me, him, her, they, themselves, like those kind of words. If you have won any awards, to mention them in your resume. If you have done any certifications, so for example, Jay, I think, mentioned that he did some process mining certification first. So you can mention your certifications in your resume. So many people say, I don't have experience, what should I do, right? So that's the way. If you do not have experience, uh, get you can get that experience by either doing freelancing work, or creating a case study by yourself, or creating a mock project by yourself, or doing some certification courses, doing some paid courses, like that. So uh, do that, and mention those things. But do not mention things that you have not worked on. So if you have not worked on Tableau or Power BI, do not mention them just because you saw them in some job job opening. Yeah. So only mention those things which you have experience on, because those are the things which interviewer will ask you. And as we mentioned at the start of the call, if you have written something and you are not able to answer on that particular thing, you're not done then and there. Interviewer is not going to select you. So all your hard work goes for a toss. And I also mentioned somewhere, interviewers are smart people, so they are industry experts. They are they are interviewing people, uh, many people per day, or they are interviewing at least one person per day, or they may not have that much experience also in interviewing, but still they are experienced people. So do not try to think that you can fool the interviewer by saying something or doing something, right? You can't. Be honest about things. People love honesty in interviews. If you are not honest, and if they find you lying or something, then it's an ethical matter, and no one wants to hire a fraud, right? So fraud may be a uh, rude term, but I think you'll get the gist. Yeah. So be honest about it, but feel free to articulate certain things in the resume. Change the wordings, or expand your experience a bit, but do not talk about something which you don't have experience on. So I recently got a note from someone saying that I lied in my resume. What should I do? How to answer interviewers' queries? I don't know how to respond to that person. You're not supposed to lie in the first place. And if you're lying, how can I help you answer the interviewer's queries? Interviewer is going to ask you questions about what you have written in the resume, no? So I don't even know what to respond to that person. So yeah, that's the case.
And Shibra, even if that person gets through the interview with ChatGPT responses or by any means, how will that person deliver? That stands priority. That takes precedence over anything. Yeah, I mean, how will that make justice to the work that he's doing?
Yeah. Yeah, that happens sometimes. No? So once a person gets hired, right? Uh, Sometimes what happens is people are able to clear interviews because they have given so many interviews. They know what questions the person is going to ask, and they learn about it or cram about it, and yeah, they showcase their experience about it. So even we did hired some people, but later on we realized that they are not exactly what we are looking for, but we still give the chance to the person. Yeah, so we'll still say, okay, somehow you got hired, so let us give you 6 months or 8 months period to prove yourself. Right now it is up to the person. So the person who is kind of lying is kind of taking an easy way out, right? And the person is going to do that even when given a chance to prove themselves. So if they continue doing that, if they continue taking easy way out, or if they continue not delivering as per the expectations, then the company is left with no choice but to sack them. Yeah. And then it becomes even more difficult for them to suggest to the other company why they got sacked in the first place or why they left the company. But still it's a chance given to the person if the person improves afterwards, right? So if the person start delivering afterwards, so it might be a off chance, or they might be desperate at some point in time. So I always try to believe good in people. Yeah, so I always try to give them a chance. So if they feel that if they're very desperate, and they took a wrong step at some point in time, but once the chance is given, they should not repeat. They should not start or keep doing what they did earlier. They should not keep taking the easy way out. If they start doing the hard work, if they start delivering, then definitely the management and the company will support them, and give the necessary trainings, and give them the necessary knowledge, and make them help them work. But again, you can lie in your resume, you can lie to the interviewer, but how long will you lie to yourself? Yeah, at some point in time you will struggle. It's very stressful to be in a profile where you don't know anything, and sometimes you won't even get help. So sometimes what happens is people will say, oh, you mentioned that you know already this, why you are not delivering, right? That time you can't say to them that I lied in my resume, or I didn't did that kind of a work. So uh, it's it's very stressful, because people will start watching you afterwards. They'll start keeping tabs on you. They'll start doing micromanagement with you, and life becomes very stressful. So better to wait for the right opening which matches with your experience, or which matches with your profile, rather than lying about it, and keeping a stressful life afterwards. but but yeah, mistakes do happen. People sometimes become desperate, so it's I feel it's okay, as long as they improve later on. But sometimes we do have to sack people because they are not delivering as per the expectations, even after repeated reminders, or even after uh, helping them out as much as we can. And that's very stressful, even for the manager, or even for the organization, to be in a position where they have to let a person go. It's a very sorry state. But being in an organization, you can't be choosy, right? You are there to work, you're not there to do charity. So you can only help people up to an extent. You can give them trainings, you can help them understand things, but if they are still not delivering, there have to be a point where you have to say, let's let the person go. Yeah.
Yes, yes, Shubhra. Yeah. And one more query I have, Shubhra, regarding this resume. So I'm working on a project like for the past 3 years on one particular project, which is on a corporate banking domain. So, and I see opportunities in the market, like from like insurance, loans, like some others too. Like, how should I make my resume configure in such a way that my resume be shortlisted to other domains, and they be ready to take a be a person who doesn't have knowledge in the particular domain, because currently I do have knowledge only on the corporate banking domain.
Mhm. See, you will not tweak your resume to match the job opening if the profile does not match, right? So if it's an insurance domain opening, you will not say I have insurance domain experience, right? So do not change your domain just because you have you have seen a JD which is of other domain. So um, your profile will not match and you will struggle later on to switch domain. So there are two kinds of openings in the market, right? The first one is I'll say experienced people opening, wherein they will demand a particular, your expertise in a particular domain. And there are second type of openings where you can call them technical writers, or you can call them business analysts, or you can call them unexperienced or fresher people. Yeah, so there are other kind of openings wherein they don't demand experience. It's more like a fresher opening. Yeah, and they don't demand. So even if they are demanding experience, they demand experience as a business analyst, but they do not demand experience in a particular domain. So I have met some people who have worked in 5 6 different domains as per the project needs, and they are not expertise in any one particular domain. Yeah, so those kind of openings are also there in the market. And then there are openings for analytics profiles, there are openings for uh, you know different roles, and different JDs are out there in the market. So what you have to do is be selective in what you are applying for, right? If you do not have insurance domain experience and they are asking for 8 10 years of experience in insurance domain, you just keep applying for that, because you are not going to get through. Yeah. Even if you apply for it, no one is going to able to match up with that opening. So read the job description, understand the job description, and then apply. And only apply in the openings which your profile matches. Then you will get. So otherwise what will happen is you will apply to 100 jobs and you will not get a call from any of them, right? So what will happen is you will end up frustrated. You'll like, I applied to 100 jobs and I'm not getting any calls. But if you choose, if you say, I'm applying to 10 jobs, and if you're still not getting a call, you'll be still like, yeah, maybe I need some improvement in the way I'm writing my resume. So let me check out the resume again, and so on and so forth, right? But you won't be that much frustrated. Like, I applied for 1,000 openings, I'm not getting a call. So there's no point in just applying blindly, right? So apply, read the job description and then apply. It will make more sense to you. It will make more sense to the system. It will make more sense to the HR, and it will make more sense to the interviewer as well. Yeah. So um, there, see, there are development openings. There are QC openings. Will you, start writing development things in your profile? Will you start writing QC things in your profile? You won't, right? Because the profile does not match. So if the domain does not match, take it as a non-match case, right? Do not think of saying that I'll go into any domain. Banking is a good domain. You should stick to that rather than trying to jump into another domain. So because what will end up happening is, so let's say you join insurance domain, 2 years 3 years you'll work in insurance domain. So what will happen at the end of 6 years is You have 3 years banking experience. You have 3 years insurance experience. Now, if there is an opening and the person is looking, the company is looking for 5 years of total insurance experience, they will not consider your profile. Yeah, because you have less experience there. So it's better to have 6 years of banking experience rather than having different domain experience. But you will still be suitable for the openings where they do not demand a particular domain expertise.
Okay, fine. Thanks, Shipra. Got it.
Yeah. So any any website portal will be full of positions, right? So there might be 2,000, 3,000 active jobs at any point in time. You will not apply to all of them, no? So just search for the job which matches your profile more. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, Shipra.
Okay. What else? When it comes to resume writing, yeah, and applying, I think that's pretty much it. What I wanted to cover. Any more ideas from your side? Any more questions from your side?
Shipra, has anyone tried Naukri or LinkedIn paid services? I mean, does that increases the chances from a visibility standpoint?
Um, Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So it's all luck. Yeah. So again, the when you take paid services, what happens is they'll assign a person, and that person will start sharing your profile to different. Companies, and then again it's a luck. So as an individual you might not have reached to those companies. With a paid service you might be able to reach out those companies, but you know then if you're doing it yourself, you have a chance to update your resume to match the JD. If you're doing it via paid services, you are losing on that chance, right? If you see, so pros and cons are both there. You can decide for yourself how much you are willing to spend on it. What I personally suggest is, instead of spending money or time on on these things, do it. You can do that. Yeah, it's helpful sometimes. But also consider spending enough time on your resume. Yeah. So see, important thing is we are not applying for development position. We are not applying for testing position. We are not applying for PM kind of a role, right? Or we are not applying for technical writer or any other role which is out there in the market. We are applying for business analyst position. And what is a deliverable of business analyst, right? Documents. And what is the first document that you are giving out? That is your resume, isn't it? If your resume is not up to the standards, it's going to give a very bad impression to the interviewer. And interviewer is like, if the person can't make his or her resume good, how the person is going to write good user stories or good requirements? If you see what I mean, right? Your resume should not have any spelling errors. Your resume should not have any formatting mistakes. Sometimes Word distort the words and fonts if you use different versions of Word. So have a PDF version so that you do not lose out on your formatting. Do not have too many spaces in your resume. Do not have too less a space in your resume. Yeah. Do not paste your picture in a resume. Yeah, that's irrelevant to the interviewer how you look like. Um, so you should know which thing is important for the interviewer. You should understand your audience better. Do not give ratings to your skills. That's very tricky, right? So you are saying requirement documents, I'm 5 out of 5. On what basis you are rating yourself 5 out of 5, right? Are you perfect? If you give yourself a 4 out of 5, I'll be like, are you not confident enough to give yourself 5 out of 5, right? So it's a tricky situation. Huh? So don't just avoid that. No? Why you are giving ratings to yourself? So how you are writing your sentences is also giving me an insight of how good you are in English, how good you are in writing sentences. So do not take your resume lightly, even if no one is, that no one is going to read it, right? But still take it seriously. Create your resume, spend 4 to 5 hours on it, review your resume next day, improve it further, review your resume next day. Do it at least 4 to 5 times, right? Spend at least 15 16 hours in total. Spend at least 2 days on your resume to make it better. Upload your resume on different websites, see what the website suggests. Yeah, do not take your resume lightly. It's a mirror of your documentation skills. It's a mirror of your profile. Yeah.
I agree on that, Shipra. Yes.
I'm sorry, I got lost. So did I answer your question?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So another thing that you can do is, a lot of material is available on Google. How to write good resume or resume writing tips. Just search for it. Go through that list and see if your resume is following that list or not. Yeah. So um, spend few hours checking that out. But yeah, ATS checker tools are very very good tools to check them out. Yeah. So
Sure. Thanks.
yeah, let's wrap up for today. We already exceeded our allocated time. Um, so I wish good luck to all the people who are trying right now to get a job. The market is low, but it won't be low for all the times. Yeah. So let's be hopeful. Let's keep trying. Um, it's all a matter of luck, right? So do not get disheartened if your resume is not getting selected, or if market is low, or um, it's you are not getting calls. Just keep trying. Resume and job, changing job or taking up a job takes lot of patience. It tests your limits. So be ready for that test. The output will be rewarding for sure. The moment you get the offer letter, you will be on cloud nine. So but before that, do not lose out on hope, and keep trying. And I wish good luck to all the people who are doing job searches and listening into this recording, or listening into this session.
Thank you, Shipra. Very kind of you. Yeah.
So yeah, let's wrap up for today. Another thing I just wanted to highlight is that we will soon start taking our yearly break. So usually what I do is I take a break once the festival season starts. Because I focus on my family and festivities there, and we also get a lot less audience in those days. So we take a break around September, August end, or September starting till December, and then we'll start, reconvening next year. So this is the fourth year we are having these sessions. For 3 years, I started my breaks around September, October time frame, but yeah, this time too. So if you have any requests for any sessions, any topics, feel free to post them in the BA Club Telegram group, and I'll take up. I'll try to take up those sessions. Yeah. So thanks all. Thanks for joining me today. And yeah, good night and have a happy weekend.
Thank you for taking the topic, Shipra. You have a nice good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shipra, for the session. Thank you.
Thank you.